Alright, well, with our dark self basically being conquered and our fears conquered and everything, it's only time to basically put our Longshot to use. And I mean, it's time to basically go back to the places you before and basically get your keys. Yeah, there's like one key you have to get at the very beginning of the dungeon. Otherwise, you will not. You can get to the very end of the pathway to get to the boss key, but you'll not be able to enter the door because of it. So now we have this river alongside spot we have to get to. Now this place you probably want to swim at times, but at the same time you probably want to be on the iron boots as well, because you'll see these vortexes. These vortexes will just pull you in if you mess up on here, and then you just gotta swim out as best you can. Also, they leave golden Skulltulas here, which is kind of a pain in the backside, honestly. Because you want to come here, put your iron boots on, and put them down. Now with your Longshot equipped... Yeah, see, it takes a little while for the game to recognize you're underwater to activate this thing. There we go. The Longshot is twice as far now. The Longshot is actually going to be your best friend. And I think from this going on, that the hookshots you get in sequential Zelda games is the Longshot by default. I have to believe that's true, because that's basically what happens. Because the hookshot goes, like in previous Zelda games, they go across the entirety of the screen. And I feel like all the hookshots of all the 2D games and top-down Zeldas are all these. Alrighty, it's time to use our Longshot to good use by using our bow to knock out the LI and hooking our Longshot to the chest before the gate closes down. There we go. You have to do this now for the final key in the dungeon, so bear that in mind. With another key! Yeah, we're getting more keys. And we get ourselves back here to the starting area where this water was returning before. I really wish I know the Dark Link fight that we just noticed. I feel like it's kind of out of place. I would have loved it if it was probably in, say, the Shadow Temple, just because it kind of cinematically feeling that way. Because it just feels like, you know, dark, depressing, moody, death, and I just know, what does water indicate self-doubt? I know we said earlier that that is roughly around the halfway point in the dungeon where Link is basically doubting himself. But like in the game, there's nothing to tell you in the game that's portraying him like this. Like he's really just this, you know, he's stoic hero that you just see all the time. I wish there was more convey of like these emotions that Link's having. Like again, even Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, Link does show some, you know, sympathy for Zelda, you know, but he doesn't even emote at all, which goes to coincidence that probably Wind Waker, Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks, and at some point in time is Twilight Princess to a certain degree, is basically where times I see that Link is emoting a lot. Because, and honestly, that, you know, that Zelda games have been basically that Link is supposed to interpret what the Link between the Link and the character, the game, and you, right? So why doesn't Link just react? Like half the time he just stares blankly, like he's just accepting his fate. Like, is this even Link's will? You know, does Link even actually have a thought in his mind? You know, everything that's been taught around him up to this point, that he's been fated to do this, fated to do this. So, no matter what he says or what he does, he can't basically change fate. I'm pretty sure if Link didn't go into the Sacred Realm, or try to grab the Master Sword when he was young, then he most likely would have had to do it anyway because Ganondorf would have threatened his life with it. And it's like, okay, that seems a little dark, but, you know, because that's what it kind of feels like with Twilight Princess involvement, you know? Like, Link went back in time to relive his childhood, and then, you know, with his fate fulfilled, he lives a disappointing life. Like, Majora's Mask, he failures recognized, and when you get to Twilight Princess, he most likely died in the battle. Either he died of loneliness, or he basically died in battle, and not being recognized as the hero he once was, you know? If Zelda had kept him in the adult timeline, he would have been called as a hero. Everybody around him would have known who he was and everything, and he would have been happier. So it goes to the basic question: do you think Link was happier being sent back 7 years at the end of Ocarina of Time, or was he, or should he have stayed? And I have that guy up. Oh, there he is. I was waiting for him to show up at Tektite. I was hearing his sound. There's his brother. There you go. Like, would have Link? Does Link even have a will? Does he have, like, thoughts, feelings, wants, desires? Yeah, he wants to save Zelda in the end, but that's only because he's fated to do so. And that's something I just kind of feel like that's hurts Link's character. Which ultimately feels like when Echoes of Wisdom comes up, will Zelda talk? Like, she has to, because she's been touted as being a talkative princess in the past. Dang it. This is an area I hate this most too, because this thing is, again, with the finicky controls of the N64 at times, you feel like you've logged onto the thing and you want to get through. You kind of mess up your chances. Now, this is that room we came back to earlier. We need to grab this key from. This is the final key of the dungeons right here. At least in this room. And now we've got it. We can now go forward into the last area of the game. Or last area of this dungeon, anyway. Have we been in this dungeon for an hour? That just goes to show you how much of, how these dungeons are going to get longer and longer as we go along our adventure tonight, folks. So let's jump down here. And we gotta get our boots on. But I just kind of, yeah, going back to my Link's, you know, tangent and will and everything, if that's the reason why the Dark Link thing would happen. But I just kind of feel, that in the Zelda manga for Ocarina of Time, he states himself that he wants to stay and help rebuild Hyrule. Like, he wants to stay and build Hyrule. He wants to be helpful. He wants to help the princess rebuild the kingdom. In a way, shape, or form. But Zelda just goes, this is when the evil has been sealed away. It's time for the hero to go away. It's like, what kind of philosophy is that? I mean, which kind of makes you feel like the Ocarina of Time Link is the saddest hero. Like, yeah, Link in Breath of the Wild, he got hit with, you know, 100 years sleep and everything for being mortally wounded and everything. But at the same time, though, he doesn't remember what happened. You know, he has to figure that out for himself. But Ocarina of Time Link, he remembers what happened to him in the future when he gets sent back. So he has all this kind of like this forbidden knowledge that basically transfigures the time of the whole timeline when he sent back. And even when he gets sent back in time, he's sent back to a time where he doesn't exist. Because when he comes back, when Zelda seals him away, or sends him back in time to reverse the Master Sword back down, the Master Sword is right there. I mean, okay, I know. In a game where basically conflicting timelines are a thing, I still feel like Ocarina of Time is still gonna be that I can now I understand why Ocarina of Time is that decisive Zelda game for everybody involved. Just because there's just so much stuff that is so decisive of this game in general is, oh, what he should have been sent back or should he stay? What was that song? Should he stay or should he go? And I just think he should have stayed, really honestly. It should have been either Link fails or Link wins and stays in the adult timeline. That's what it should have been. Oh, look, our friendly little creatures from Jabu-Jabu's belly is back. And they all died without a problem. So I was like, why wouldn't the bibbies come back? Like, those things were just, you know, squids, or they should have just came back here. We'll put this bomb down here, and we're gonna swing over here. I'm gonna create this building, this ball blown out as well. Right, so at least this temple is using up all the rest of the new items you've gotten in the past. To a certain degree, of course, so that's actually kind of nice. But still, I just think that Link should have stayed in the future. I think he should have just said, Zelda, no. I will stay here in the future. I do not want to go back. I want to here and save Hyrule. What would have Hyrule been like? If Link stayed in the future, I mean, Zelda would be without a dad, for that matter. Which probably gives her grief and everything. But the fact is that, man, it just... Oh, just the ending of Ocarina of Time just irks me to a certain degree. That and the manga as well, because that just makes feel like Link is just a player in this field, in this game. He is just that, a player. He's a player in this scheme of a game of a force of light and a force of darkness, and he's the pawn. Like at this point, Link's been a pawn from almost this entire game. Like, he's helping Zelda, and then he accidentally helped Ganondorf by basically, you know, pulling out the Master Sword early. And now it's like... It's just... Oh! Like, at one point, his Link just basically just throws his hat to the ground and says, I've had it with this! I am now a third entity in this. Why can... I want the Triforce of Courage. I want all the Triforce pieces. So I can say, this is my fate. I know what I'm supposed to do. And I want to keep it that way. You know? I want that Link. I want that Link to come out and to say to both Ganondorf and Zelda, say, I'm done. Alright? Oh boy. Ow! Oh, wow. Woo! I saved myself on that one. We'll get through. Oh, dang it. Ah, you stupid creatures. You Tektites, you distracted me from basically getting my goal. Yeah, this is this harder version of this room we had earlier, where we have to hit the switch, jump across the water sprouts, and then get out the door before the door locks itself. So get up here. Jump right here. Come on, jump to the door. There we go. Huzzah! And with that, we are now at our last area of the dungeon, and there's a golden sculpture right there, which is kind of a jerk placement, honestly. There we go. Put our boots back on. We'll get the boss key. Then we can go back and get this. But also, they put a jerk enemy right here that sees you before you see it, and so you have to let it hit you and everything. Oh, good arrows. I needed those actually. Oh boy. I mean, at the end of the day, I just think that Link should just, you know, just ultimately just say to Zelda and Ganondorf, I quit. I know, I'm a pawn for both of you guys here, and I'm not having any of it. I'm taking the Triforce for myself. Who's to say that the Triforce of Courage can be selfish? There's our boss key for you. Ah, now we can go to the boss. Which, honestly, in my opinion, is probably one of the easier bosses. Well, it's not fully 100% easy, just because there's a high chance you could basically get grappled by the thing and basically lose a lot of your hearts for it. But as long as you're like in a particular spot in the arena, you're not going to basically, you know, die to the thing. We go right here. Watch out for the rock. Thank you, rock, for hitting me like that. I'm hitting the thing. There we go. Grab the thing, we're out of here. Woo! Ow! I thought I was going to get around that. I thought you get around that. Oh, boy. Then we need to go back around here. And I think we need... Oh, yeah, that's right. We need to go back the opposite way. Dang, I'm getting hit by everything. No! Get away from me. I don't want to deal with you Tektites. No! I'm stuck in somewhere. I'm stuck in water currents. I can't move. Ooh. Oh, you want to fight me, huh? There you go. You want to fight me too, huh? I'll tell you to die. There you go. Curse those Tektites. I've got the... Whoa, we're getting raided. We got raided in a water temple, no less. We're getting raided by the water temple. By the Nintendo Pals group. Thank you very much. Awkward. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, these guys are following me. There's spikes here. Goodness! Alright, let's get you over here, you cursed things. Yeah, you die. Give me back my bombs. Alright, we're off to fight the boss of this place. Finally gonna get ourselves out of here. We've been in this temple for an hour. That's saying a heck of a lot of how long these dungeons are. Oh, that's right, I don't need to be this. I can just go and get my warp missile now. My warp whistle! Get my warp whistle! Hey, my warp whistle! No worries, man. No worries. Let's go. Alright, we got ourselves here. And now we can warp our music up top. And now it's time for us to go after Morpha. The water dungeon. Oh. That's the last time we have to change the waters, man. That's the last time we have to change that water level. Oh, I'm so glad that's over with. Like, this dungeon takes forever. Like I said, we've been in this dungeon for over an hour. That's how long this thing is, and don't forget, folks. This is only a trend to continue. Well, it's kind of easier on the other two dungeons because you don't have to pause every 5 seconds to get to put the boots on and everything, you know. All right, let's go. I'll get my fairy. Thank you. I'm really not gonna need. Now here we got this most annoying part of the entire dungeon here, the walk to the boss. Yeah, you might think this is kind of an easy, nice little even, you know, grade and everything, but no. Once you walk on this, Link starts to not move very fast, and you get hit. You move all the way back down. And this remains for the Master Quest version too, but I think the Master Quest version, I think they're a little bit faster. Go, 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 no! Why is there not like a long shot for this one spot, man? You think about the one place they would probably put a long shot in, they would do it here. Oh! And now the trek to get up here is going to be I don't usually have trouble with this, and now, okay, I am recording myself, so that is basically a big promise here. But they're all going at 3 different speeds, though, so that's obviously a problem for me, anyway. And you can't just, you know, just stop and turn, no. You have to... good. I was able to slope and turn. That's very rare that... If you turn anymore, you basically slip down. Anyway. Now we got... Hey, Ruto's back! Alexman, look at that! There's not normal water over there! Oh, it's chlorine water. It's public pool water. Oh, I smell the chlorine in it already. Oh. This is... You're right, Ruto. This is not normal water. But I do say, though, this boss has, like, the best setup to show off what this boss is. You kind of don't know what it is, you know, until you get up here and then revealed, and you find out it's nothing really grandiose. What the heck is that? It's it's water with a nuclei in it. It's a giant Morpha nuclei, and this thing can be quite the enigma. Now, the dungeon itself, the boss fight, is supposed to tell you, hey, you know what? Do it. You're supposed to fight this thing in the middle. No, we're not doing it. We're going to go right here in the corner. I'm going to grab this thing. And this is where the problem about the hookshot is that... There we go. Hit him with the big Goron sword. Alright, now this thing is, this thing can be quite Tetris if you're playing this the intended way, which is supposed to be on the center platforms here and grab you, and grab it. But if it grabs you, you're gonna lose a lot of health and you're gonna be flung halfway across the dungeon, or across the room in that regard. But since this, and also the fact, the game had tried to tell you you're not supposed to go on the walls, because of the spikes here. But this game gives you these corners where there is no spikes. And so you can stand right here in these corners And you don't have to worry about anything at all. The boss will come out to you. Yeah. You think he's the boss? No, boss. No, no, you nuclear creature. I am the boss. That's what Link can say to this thing. He's like, I am the boss of you. Because I stand in one spot, and you can't do anything to me. He tries to reach out to you, but the fact is the water thing breaks apart once you actually grab it. So, as long as you stay in a corner, this thing cannot harm you. Like, it is pathetically easy. If there's one thing about Ocarina of Time I wish they had done was to reformat the bosses to make them a little bit more interesting, you know? Especially Morpha, because there you go, Morpha is dead. This thing froze Zora's domain. This thing froze Zora's domain. I don't get it. I don't get it. And it destroys itself like a like, which is kind of interesting to say the least. I do say it's impressive to see how that model was bending the way it was with all the watery physics it was. And so it was actually pretty cool, not gonna lie. But again, this boss is pathetically easy, and sadly, it's probably the weakest of the adult bosses because of how cheesy it can basically be. But hey, we got ourselves our piece of art, and now we can get out of the pause temple at this point. So let's get out of here and meet up with our sage, shall we? To the Chamber of Sages with us, and I love, that's a weird water effect. I feel like that's a bug in the camera when they made this. It's like, whoa, whoa, anyway, Princess Ruto is the sage of the Water Temple, as it pretty known. Alexman! Yes? I would have expected no less from the man I chose to be my husband. Zora's domain and its people will eventually return to the original state. As a reward, I grant you my eternal love to... well, that's what I want to say, but I don't think I can offer that now. I have to guard the Water Temple as the Sage of Water. And you're searching for the princess, Zelda. Huh, you can't hide anything from me. Princess Zelda, she is alive. I can sense it, so don't be discouraged. I can tell that nothing will stop you in your quest for justice and peace. You must take this medallion. Take it respectively. So, yeah, so it said that Zelda's alive. Yeah, have you seen her lately? You know, we've been through 3 temples now. We haven't found any traces of her yet. But we are given the water medallion, which kind of looks like ice, which is initially the thought that the ice cavern was initially the ice dungeon in general, technically. If you see Sheik, please give him my thanks, okay? Sure thing.